The welts on my bottom weren't enough to make me hate my mother. The burns on my hands weren't enough to make me feel like she wasn't a good enough example. She loved me. She was just a single young mother trying to create a way from a deficit. I was 4 years old when I first wiped away my mother's aching. I was 4 years old when I first felt empty. I was 4 years old when I first felt abandoned. Distress was her parental mentor. I was playing in the backyard one day when I heard the radios. From blue and red lights came uniformed men. Intrusive knocks penetrated through our little home like wind to a poor insulation system. Running into the house, my mother packed up my favorite things. Her beautiful smile quickly became grief. We sat in the back of the police car as I watched my home fade in the distance. 4 years old. I felt her chest sink in mourning. I felt her embrace me as if she was losing her life. I tasted her sorrow through my fingertips. Innocence is curious, so I asked, "What's wrong, Mommy?" She replied, "Nothing. Nothing." Nothing, as if we were both okay. Little did she know she could have prepared me better. Little did I know I was her fourth child being taken away from her. Little did I know she hid me to protect me, only to lose me for a reason that wasn't her fault. That she left my father because he beat her while she was pregnant. That she lost her other children because my father shot at her. That she had a mother who was addicted to crack cocaine. Little did I know she'd been on her own since 11 years old, that she'd lost hope. Little did I know that crushed my mother. I went from a fragmented love to a fragmented system, and I quickly went from playtime and showers to being fondled in the shower. After being introduced to a world of cruelty, I was admitted into a facility of high dosage. I mean, high doses to hide the blame. It felt like I lived in a cloud. I had to be reminded of who I was each day, so where does that leave my family? It was cold, I was alone, I was 8 years old. The last word was expensive, usually costing me about 4 restraints and a needle in my ass. I went from being tucked in at night to standing in line for Respiridol and graham crackers. Sitting in front of the judge, he had no other option but to detain me. I was petrified, but everything I could possibly go through in juvenile hall I'd already been through. The stale hall's odors were coated with hints of coconut soap. Preparing myself for another ride, I saw other young girls just like me with similar stories. I became comfortable. This became a lifestyle for me. I learned how to style my stamped gray t-shirts and distressed black pants. I learned which staff to befriend to get deodorant that would make my armpits raw. I felt more secure inside because I knew what to expect. I cried before my release because I didn't know what to expect. I used art as an outlet, specifically writing, because writing took me places. It helped me escape from this hell that I lived in, opened unwelcome doors to a refined me, channeled my trauma into an escape. From pain became empowerment, restoration through transformation. I had nothing left to look back to. I only had a future. I went from solitary confinement to community organizing. My name is Yanni Bridges, and I'm an alumni at Inside Our Writers, and you just went on a journey with me through my transition through the foster care system, the mental health institution, and the juvenile justice system, all before the age of 14. And I have to say that at that age, before I found writing, I was incredibly traumatized. I had no clue. I was incredibly angry, but I had no clue why until I sat down and I wrote about it. I didn't want to write. I didn't consider myself a poet. Now, I write because I want to make a change in the world, because that's what's most important to me, because there are other little girls and other little boys out there who went through and are going through the same things that I went through. I don't appreciate that. I write for empowerment. That's it.